Sorry.
Pressure.
Thanks, Steph. No pressure. I wanted to thank Stephanie and Amelia for putting together this amazing event as well, just like Jeff did. And I'm actually going to have somebody come up and help me read the pieces written in two voices. So if Nick Johnson could come up, please. So before we start, just to kind of like go a little bit further into what Steph was saying. He's got plans. It was really awesome to work with Caitlin. I think that the pairing was really great because the work that she was already doing and the work that I was doing in this piece, they were able to communicate with one another and share dialogue. And that was really cool and really exciting for both of us because it didn't involve us kind of like stepping out of where we were mentally and like, you know, doing a side project or something like that. Like we were able to like use the headspace that we were currently in and like just share it. And so that was really exciting. So that's all. How do you want to do this? We can share it, right?
Yeah.
Y'all can hear us, right?
Mm-hmm. She said, please, let go.
My mother used to wake up every Sunday morning in autumn to sweep the long driveway in front of my childhood home. The leaves from the big tree in the front yard littered our curb. I would lie in my bed under the plaid comforter and listen to the dry whiskers from the broom scrape against the concrete. After she'd finish, she'd make a pot of coffee and send up whispers to my bedroom. Wake up, Charlie boy. Afternoons were spent in long wooden pews and at languid luncheons with the families of our parish. Potato salads, and tender bits of meat. At night, my family sat around the living room reading periodicals and nursing mugs of cinnamon cocoa.
She said, stop. Please listen. You don't want to do this. Stop.
My first girlfriend was in 4th grade. We held hands in the hallways and sat together at lunchtime in the cafeteria. I brought her sugar cookies wrapped in wax paper. Her name was Sandra, and she had hair that made me think of roasted corn shiny with butter. She had the tiniest nail beds. Her mother painted them a soft pink that matched the small freckles on her fleshy cheeks. She ended up leaving me for Michael Redfield, who was in junior high already and had shaved one side of his head to be cool. Everyone in our class said he was the coolest. Sandra told me that I was never going to be cool because my hands were too soft for a boy.
And she said, please, don't make me do this. I can't do this. Please, stop touching me.
When I was in junior high, I hated gym class. I was the skinniest boy in my class, but my body started to release an odor that inspired creative nicknames. My mother wouldn't buy me deodorant because she thought the chemicals would stunt my growth. She was sure that I didn't need it yet. You aren't old enough to smell, honey, she'd say. And I'd stand there with large sweaty circles under my armpits, a funky smell wafting up, my heart sinking to my hobbit feet. I'd wait for the other boys to leave the locker room after gym, and I'd pilfer one of their sticks of antiperspirant, chalk up the undersides of my armpits with long, white smears.
She said, I promise I won't tell anyone if you just let me go. I'm sorry. I'll stop crying. I will.
The first girl I made cry was in high school. I was walking up the stairs to my last class of the day when I collided with Melissa Parker. Her backpack spilled open and slid across the linoleum floors. A pregnancy test spun out into the middle of the hallway. Everyone stopped, stared. Melissa, her face red and her mouth twitching, ran to try and recover it, the hall filled with whispers and snickers. I watched tears start to spill down her blotchy face. Charlie, you idiot, she screamed through her teeth. Charlie, you fucking idiot. She shoved me against the lockers and ran into the bathroom, a trail of her girlfriends clucking after her. One of them, Bernice Mayberry, spat her bright pink gum onto my cheek.
She said, please, I don't like this. It's dark. Please, I don't want to touch you. Let me go, please.
I was 19 the first time I had sex. It was with the 13-year-old girl that lived next door to us. I couldn't find a job. I'd wake up, get stoned, and then spend the rest of the day floating through the dark house. Most of the time I'd be in the garage tinkering with one of the many broken appliances we kept around. My father, too cheap to replace anything, said, "Son, we can fix anything. We're men." Annabelle Smith came home at 3:20 every afternoon. One time, she was carrying a dangerously high stack of books, and she tripped on a sidewalk crack right at the end of our driveway. I helped her up, and she smiled at me shyly. "Thanks, Charlie," she said. Her thin cotton t-shirt showed 2 small rosebuds where one day there would be breasts. Her legs were long and brown like a mare. I asked her if she had a boyfriend yet. She giggled and said no. I told her she would one day, soon. She blushed. After that, Annabelle Smith always stopped by my house before heading home. Her shirts got tighter. Her shorts grew shorter and shorter. She started to say my name in every statement she made. "Oh, Charlie, you're so funny. Oh, Charlie, I wish the boys in school were more like you. Oh, Charlie, do you like my outfit today?" I always smiled at her and offered her a soda. One afternoon, she followed me into the house, jumped onto the kitchen counter, and told me she wanted to have sex. I wasn't sure what to do, and I told her so, but she unbuttoned my jeans, hiked her denim skirt up, and told me to just do it. She wanted to get it over with already. When I tried to slide into her, she was too tight, too dry. She seemed so determined that I lunged forward. She started to cry, but told me, "It's okay. I know it's supposed to hurt at first. Just keep going." When I pulled out, unsure, I was covered in her blood. She screamed, jumped off the counter, and ran home. That night, her father pounded on our door. He told my mother, "Your son raped my daughter." I looked at him, shocked. "I did not," I said. "She came on to me," I said. "She unbuttoned my pants," I said. My mother's hand covered her mouth, and she slumped against the door frame. Mr. Smith looked like he was going to kill me, and I heard Annabelle sobbing. He said, "You stay away from my daughter or else." When he left, my mother fell onto the couch and said, "Charlie, why?" I stayed quiet and went up to my room. I laid on my bed and thought about Annabelle crying and about the blood. I started to get hard.
And she said, "Oh my God, you're hurting me. No, please stop. I've never done this before. Don't do this. Please, just let me go home. I'm begging you. Please, just let me go home."
I got a job at the gym, and the boys who used to hate me in school started to ask me for discounts. They let me join in on their workout routines, told me the right kinds of things to eat to get bigger, to get stronger. I started a detailed nutrition plan and watched my body grow. Girls who came into the gym started to flirt with me. They said, "Charlie, how much can you bench? Charlie, do you think you could bench me? Charlie, I bet you have so many girlfriends." I never went out with any of them. I never went out with anyone. Every night I'd lie in my twin bed and stroke myself, remembering Annabelle's horror, remembering what it felt like to be in complete control.
She said, "I don't think I'm better than you. No, really, I don't. I never thought that. Please, it hurts. Please stop it. I can't breathe. It hurts. Please."
Annabelle Smith turned 17 last week. Her parents threw a huge party. I watched the stream of teenage bodies going into her house, heard the loud music. My mother was invited, but I was not allowed. She brought me back a piece of cake, chocolate with pink buttercream frosting. There was a big A on the frosting and a purple gel. I brought it up to my room and stared at it. My eyes followed the curves of the letter slowly as the purple lines smeared with white gobs of my own cum. In the morning, I threw out the slice and watched out the window while Annabelle's boyfriend picked her up.